Okay, so welcome everyone to our final class of the series, which is a little shocking to me. I'm not sure how it goes so fast, but we have accomplished so much in our 10 weeks, and I think we'll do, I don't know, we'll do something in honor of that, something celebratory or review or just, reflections and such. But as always, and we're going to finish the Shri today. We've got the inside triangles as well as the petals to do, and possibly more edge of the Bhupura depending on our timing. The Bhupura being the frame. So, okay, let's do it. Life is chaotic. Let's breathe for a moment and tune inward and give ourselves a moment of pause inspired by the breath. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Using the breath to connect with your body and create a sense of spaciousness. Deep belly breaths in, expanding your lungs and opening and activating your body as simultaneously relaxing and releasing. Feeling yourself sinking into the surface, supporting you and arriving fully into this moment. Connecting with all of the parts of you, your energy body, your physical body. Your emotional body, your mental body. And extending your consciousness with every breath to connect with your etheric body, your multidimensional self, the part of us that lies beyond our waking consciousness. Using the breath to connect and expand and remember all that we are beyond this 3D. Remembering that that multidimensional consciousness exists in a larger scale as we are human beings existing on a planetary being that exists within a solar system and a stellar being. We are breathing and alive in a galaxy that is breathing and alive. Connected to star systems, civilizations, infinite intelligence beyond our waking reality. Galactic consciousness exists within the universe, an infinite number of infinities beyond the grasp of our small human existence that we are a part of, that we are connected to, with our breath, with our hearts. Taking a moment to connect with that universal consciousness through your heart, through gratitude for this existence. Feeling a sense of appreciation for this day, all that it includes, this class, all that it has included. Deep breath. And as you're ready, back to our shared visual connection. Hmm. Sorry, I muted you during that. I have a glass of water. Where did it go? I need a sip of water. There it is. I put it out of reach of my cat. 1 second. Okay. I wore all of my Sri accoutrement today. Here's my, oh, you can't really see it. This is my Sri earring, and then that I made with half, little bits of jewelry that lost their other bits. So, and then I've got my Sri necklace that my friend gave me for my birthday. So I'm decked out in infinite potential with the portal.
Great. Let's hope you don't disappear.
Let's hope I do. I'm on the other side of that. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Um,
Watch
so
what you wish for.
what would I wish for?
Watch what you wish for.
Oh, watch what you wish for.
Yeah, yeah.
True. Very true. Um, so how was your week? I know we touched base before the recording, and I know things are intense and that we might need to pause the recording. So happy to do that. Um, obviously.
Uh, yes. What I think I did to compensate for some of the chaos was to find order
Mm-hmm.
in the shapes that best resonated with me at the time we drew them. Also, the ones that I knew I couldn't screw up, to be honest with you.
The
So,
go-tos. Yeah.
yes. So I technically you're drawing them twice because I do it in pencil and then I go over it in pen just so it
Mhm.
looks pretty.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so that it was a little more accurate this time.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm,
and I'm still trying to
love
figure out
it.
how to. So I can get lost in how the lines connect to each other, and then I can get lost in the other shapes that are created, and
Mm-hmm.
that's very cool. But this one just always I don't know what it is about the
Oh
flat.
my gosh, it's just so sharp. I know what's
Yeah,
satisfying about it.
very.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like I don't know why you speak to me, but you do, and thank you. Kind of feel
Hmm.
to it, and then
Did you
I
have any insights or in addition to the feeling of, the satisfaction that it brings, like any
yeah.
awarenesses or connections to other things?
Yes, in the moment I did, and I should have written it down. But what what it constantly brings back to me is in watching Gaia, I have constantly heard the term the web, essentially.
Mhm.
Um, and to me, this looks like the order of it. Just looks like the order of how we're connected. I guess is the way to put it for me. But it's very pleasing to me because of its structure and its order. You know, it's just I think this is the way life's supposed to be in a sense. It just feels that way without things blowing up in the middle of everything. So then, because I was very unhappy with the number of holes I had in my paper with the original Shri,
Uh-huh.
I said, I'm going to draw that thing again. So
Mm.
I did, and I went a little further than we did in class last week because
Uh-huh.
I was following the instructions. So I was able to put in um, the little lines as well. Although
Awesome.
I'm going to tell you one thing about your instructions is the three rings on the outer cannot be a quarter of an inch
Uh-huh.
because if they are, then when you go to start the next two circles within the circle,
Hmm.
that comes to the quarter-inch mark if you make the three outside. So the three outside technically I think have to be an eighth of an inch.
Okay. Tiny, tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
had to reconfigure that. Yeah, it's an eighth of an inch.
Okay. I will go back and
Yep.
adjust that, right? I think in my mind, a quarter of an inch was very small without measuring it. So I'll do an eighth of an inch. But yeah, those look beautiful and, evenly proportioned and really great.
Yeah, I did when I started to put in the find the halfway mark, which is approximately seventh eighths of an inch. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, which made me think that maybe all my diagonal lines that I had to make off the second set of vector points were off a tiny bit. So I did end up remeasuring to make each of these petal sections the same width approximately. So
Mm-hmm.
that was at 8 o'clock this morning. Like, oh wait a minute, that does not look right.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever gotten it precise.
Yeah, well,
honestly.
I wasn't sure if drawing the triangles was going to depend on any of those lines going through the outer rings. But I thought, ew, if those are off, then the triangles would be off. But I think it's just the vertical and horizontal we'll be working from.
Yes, yes. Uh, but genuinely, my perspective is that the Shri knows that knows our intention, knows that we're drawing it, and whatever imperfections just, are for our process only, that this
Hmm.
is a living entity that is interfacing and responding with our energy and our intention, which we will make sure to set before we get into the drawing the triangles. But I think I mentioned that I had a woman who, after one of the classes, I always recommend the 7-day challenge, which is, it takes a lot to commit to that. And I only, I'm not sure, do I have a picture of it? But I did the Shri 7 days, and I only did the circle with the triangle. I didn't do all of the rest of it.
Hmm.
And it was very transformational. And then my friend just was like, I'm going to keep going. She did 40 days,
Wow.
and she would just draw them freehand, right? And so she got the energy. It was like a meditation. She didn't need to take the time to precisely to get precise about it. But it point being, even though it was very imprecise, she got the energy of it. It's the intention, the energy. And I could not do that. When I saw her shrees, it almost hurt my system. And I don't know why, but the Shri, I don't know if you tried it, or if you want to try it when we're finished with it, but it feels like scratching on my system when it's upside down.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
you
can't,
said
I
that.
can't, I can't tolerate it. So it's,
Yeah.
for me, they're very alive, they're very interactive, and they generate a lot of prosperity. And I meet people. I generally will meet very cool people that also have the Sri Yantra in their life. I did that
Hmm.
last night. It was like I was just talking with a woman, and she's like, "Yeah, we were just doing a meditation with the Sri Yantra." I'm like, "Oh, hey, friend." So, it really guides, in a lot of ways, which
Yeah,
is
I think I got my poster probably almost 20 years ago,
yeah.
and I didn't know why.
Hmm,
One of
hmm.
those things. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, I know, right? It all comes full circle. Speaking of which, the other thing with the 64, um, when it's the thing, you used a word that's, I don't know, was it comforting, or is that my word? You used something about why it's so pleasing.
Right.
Yeah. And part of me that I've come to realize is that symmetry. I
Hmm.
love symmetry, and
Hmm.
that creates a sense of harmony for me that
Right.
is so soothing, and
Yeah.
it's so predictable. And I mean, things are just getting weirder and weirder, and these geometries are always going to be the same. And
Yeah.
that is very, very, I like that a lot. It's part of why I teach, so that I can be around them all the time. Because otherwise this stuff can just fall away. All of our practices, right? It's just about getting on the mat, putting the pen to paper. And that level of discipline is not supported in this reality, right? That inner practice, that inner reflective. It's like you're bucking against all of the, when I draw, there's a horrible amount of internal pressure that says, you should be doing something else. There's a lot of productive stuff you could be doing. I have huge lists. And I've chosen to believe that investing in the geometry, whether it's the Shri or the 64 or the flower, that it's harmonizing my system so that I am better able to, just like any meditation, that I am better able to move in the world, and more balanced, more harmonic. And so that's why I teach it.
Well, I would totally agree because when I did spend, I mean, I didn't look at the clock while I was doing it, but when I was finished, I said, "Oh my God, I did that for 4 hours." You know,
Oh, yeah.
the thing was that um, I didn't have any thoughts about anything else that needed to be done. I didn't
Nice.
even have any thoughts about I'm getting tired. I probably should stop. None of that. So I think right there is the story of to continue doing the drawing is that
Yeah.
I can go mindless doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very spacious. And I remember that. And I've had that recently, of like, you just there's an excitement, there's a compulsion, there's a like, ooh, what's going to happen next? And the shape is inspiring, and then you've got to keep going because
Right.
it would be painful to stop, and then it's 4 a.m, so at least in my world. So wonderful. Thank you. I'm so excited to have had this time with you and to be able to see the drawings over the weeks, and to, for you to be able to select which one of the ones that, because we learned so many, which one of the ones that we learned that really resonates, and really
Right.
feels the best. So there are other things. So I thought we would draw. We'll see how far we'll get it done. And I'm so glad that you did the Bupura edges. I like it extended. It just, you can tell it takes so much time if we're trying to draw the petals and the triangles. And so I have left them behind, and they are on the PDF so that you can,
Right.
and those are also adjustable. You can make them as long or as short as you want, because it really is an approximation of the length. So can we see yours again? Because it was
Yeah.
just so beautiful. Yeah. Nice. Oh, it just looks fabulous.
Ran down to the bottom of the page with the
Yep.
measurements that you've had, but
Yep.
yep.
You do. I know. It's the boundary, and I usually end up cutting it off, but yeah, that is how it
Very
looks.
close. That's 1/8 of an inch too, just so you know.
Awesome. Awesome. Do I have my Shri somewhere? I don't know where it's gone, but I have one that I meditate with. Let me just pop over. Everything's in my postage stamp room. Hang on, but I want to show you because the boundary goes up to the very edge, and I've had to, I learned to cut it that way. Hang on one second. All right, so this is a Shri I did that I tend to use to generate and manifest. I'll just like put it somewhere, and if the space needs charging or if I want to call something in. This is a nice big one. But again, examples where you don't need the boundary. You can just, and this one even has the petals, but all 12, or sorry, all 7 that I did do not have it. But this is oh, it does this. This is the one that I drew. So I drew it on a silver 12 by 12, and then I cut that out with an X-Acto knife, and then I put it on a sparkly paper so that when you have the light hit it right, it sparkles infinitely. But you can see the boundary comes, just like you were saying, it
Right to
is
the
right
top
up to the edge. Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's all about figuring it out. And then I just said, screw it, I'm going really big, which is part of how it happened. And I will share this one other piece to normalize this if this happens for you, for anybody. And it's not unique to the Shri. It's part of all the geometries. But for me, because I am so focused and fixated on this one, it happens. I went, we have all sorts of newfangled technologies here in Sedona, right? Like scalar tech, frequency tech, and it's really where it's at. And so I was in a tachyon chamber the other day. Don't ask me to explain it. I don't know what happens. I just know that I am gorked out of this. I don't even know what happens. I just know that I walk out of there really spacey, really having journeyed only for like 20 minutes. You're only in for a short amount of time. And I just so expanded. And then because of the center that it is, you come out of that and then you go sit in this giant Merkaba ground. And so it's like a full Sedona experience. But my point is, what happened when I was sitting in the Merkaba is I just started seeing the Sri Yantra everywhere on the empty walls. And I was like, oh, I need to do one there, and I need to do one there. And it starts, when you get it in your field, any of the geometries, that's part of the activation is, you can just start to see them everywhere, especially when you're meditating or drawing or whatever. And that's normal. Like, don't think you're losing it. It's part of the activation where the geometry and the source beyond the geometry has said, oh, she's into it. Let's go. So, it's the best we can do is just listen and respond and draw and continue to send the signal that we are into it. Once I was reading, I love information from the Arcturians, David Miller, let's see, connecting with the Arcturians, and just all sorts of channeled information. And what they say is that studying sacred geometry and crop circles is the best way to signal to your team or advanced civilizations that you would like to expand your consciousness and remember your ability for telepathy and the way to communicate with other realms. So it's part of what's happening. We're activating our system to be able to do that.
Yeah, cool. Definitely cool. And I'm wondering too, I've been doing a lot of connecting the dots between Atlantis and sacred geometry as well. And I wonder if the people who are drawn to do it again in this lifetime had lifetimes during that time where it was used all the time.
Yeah. I
All the
think
time.
we should assume that. We should
Yeah,
assume that,
yeah.
that the higher maths and the way of connecting with the field, the Akash, all of the esoteric things that we don't understand anymore. I think
Yeah,
that was par for the course, standard
exactly.
operating procedure there.
One thing about the Shri, when it's colored in, I'm not as attracted to it as when those triangles are open.
Yes,
I wonder what that is. I don't
I
know.
have. Yeah,
You have that similar experience?
I do. I can't color them in.
Yeah.
I believe it's because when you leave it open, it leaves the dimensionality accessible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very different experience to draw them in, to color them in. Very different.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, I have, all of these ones. It's pretty. It's just very different, right?
Yeah,
It's very,
it's a total different energy for me.
yeah. So that's what I do. I draw them, I cut them out, and then I put them on a background. So, yeah.
So today's a good drawing day for me. I'm
It's
ready.
gonna be. Okay. So let's take a moment to pause, though, because we have
Yeah.
this incredible blank open canvas, right? This beautiful circle that we created. And let's drop in for an intention. And this can be, anything. If you want to tune in, take a couple of breaths and connect with anything that you would like to have more of, that you would like to have amplified, right? And ultimately we can write that down, but right now we're energetically imprinting it into this potential. And I actually like to take my hands and put it on the circle and imagine the energy, the feeling of that intention going into the circle. And we know that manifesting begins with feeling the intention in our bodies, right? Seeing it becoming bigger, becoming amplified, and then that energy is imbued, and the Shri can carry it and then amplify and create prosperity around whatever it is you are wanting. So I would encourage you, no pressure, to write whatever intention it is on either another piece of paper or on the Shri. And I usually actually date it, because then I can go back after that thing has manifested and say, oh my God, that's right. I did that. You can do that with any of the geometries. I just love this portal of potential of the empty circle, you know? Okay. Any interest in sharing it? You don't need to. We can
I
do
have
it.
two.
Uh-huh.
The first one that came, and I know it's coming from my egoic self more so, is freedom of responsibility.
Yeah.
Um, Secondly, what I knew before you asked the question was inner vision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
two.
Let's will you choose one just for the moment? We can choose another one, but choosing one, um, let's just, I want to do it even more, even though we just embodied it. Let's build it for a minute. And so, can I join you in choosing one, whichever one? Can you tell me so I can amplify it?
The inner vision.
Okay. So, using the breath and really feeling what a stronger inner vision would feel like, seeing the results of what it would feel like, imagining, feeling it, like feel it in your body, that knowing when it is bigger, that knowing of more inner vision. Feeling whatever comes with that, whether it's confidence or expansion and everything that comes from expansion, or beauty, feeling more expanded with that inner vision, just feeling it, just anchor the feeling of it in your body, make it real.
Hmm.
Anchoring it as if it's already done. Imagining your reality as if it's already done, knowing and assuming that it is already done and what that feels like.
Okay.
Okay.
That's powerful.
Yeah, I was joining you. One thing, and then we'll get right into drawing. A friend of mine, super versed in the esoteric practices, right? And one of them manifested. And we were talking, I don't know, she was presenting something at a party, she was introducing somebody, and she dropped a nugget of manifestation that I have been working with ever since. So it's three phases, and it's I will, I have, or I am. Yeah.
No. Hang on. I will.
Okay. So the nugget of manifestation is three phrases that are then applied to your wish, intention. So I will, I am, watch me, right? So I will have inner vision. I am, or I do have inner vision anchoring right now. Watch me have inner vision. And it's that one that just like claims it and
Right.
supercharges it. And I love that. Watch me. It's like, I dare you to doubt that it's going to happen.
Yeah. I had a glimpse of it yesterday. I had plans already to do another good gift, giving of myself and time to a relative. And with the situation I have, I knew I needed to be elsewhere, but I could not make the decision. And that is part of why what I'm seeing with the inner vision is I follow the breadcrumbs all the time, and then I try to put the pieces of the puzzle together and see what they're trying to inform me to do. So I do too many pro con, pro con, pro con, and it takes me forever to make a decision, which is unfortunate. So, in the conversation that I was having, um, where we were trying to make a decision, all of a sudden I made the decision. I was like, that never happens. That never happens. So the vision was there that I needed to be at the other place than the place I was planning to be. So that is still fresh in my body and in my field. And I'm thinking if I could do that every day for everything, I would not struggle so much with my own logical mind versus whatever emotional self, whatever it is that I'm always battling back and forth.
Yeah.
So let's watch me.
Watch me. I'm doing it. And I think that the symmetry of the geometries creates that inner clarity, right? Because you're opening and you're getting less jumbled and less stuff in the way. And I'll just add, I muscle test because a lot of times I can't do it. And I've been defaulting like, okay, yes, no, and it's really helps. So.
It does. Have you tried the one where you stand and bend your knees slightly? That one always freaks me out. And then you ask the question, and you either start leaning backwards or you start falling forwards.
Yeah.
That works for me better than pulling on the finger, but yeah, very, very cool.
It's so trippy. It is. I love it. It's like, okay. The one thing I couldn't do was the pendulum, because I can manipulate a pendulum to go
Yep.
both ways. And I was like, well,
Yeah, I
you're
know.
out.
I
Yeah.
gave it a shot for a long time. I still use it when I do healing sessions with people, totally, disconnected to it just to see how their chakras are flowing.
Yeah.
And that's always amazing. So,
That's true. That is a great use of it. Yeah. So me too. Um, Great. All right. So that's a fun amount of chit chat. Let's get into triangles. Now I can tell you what we want to do is recreate that center line. All right. The two, oh, you'll be pleased to know that I don't know if you will. I'm pleased to know that I figured out how to get the audio right. Someone,
oh,
yeah,
really?
I know. Finally, by the last class, someone helped me. I couldn't find the way to choose what I was sharing and make sure the audio was in place, but I found it.
All right,
Where are
excellent.
we at?
That'll help you in the future.
That'll help me in the future.
Okay, muting.
Okay. Okay, we went past this one, so we've done all this. Okay, we've erased. Okay, so you can recreate the vertical and the horizontal lines based on okay. So that's what we want to do. Do you have to mute? Because I love the inner back and forth, and I don't know.
You,
Yeah,
you like me saying weird stuff while
I
I
do.
can?
I love the
Okay.
little drawing noises. I miss that.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
all
by the
right.
way, adding a
Yes.
large pencil
Uh-huh.
totally helped with my agility using the compass.
Yeah, because you're
So,
using it up top, right? It's a little higher
yes,
up.
as long as the pencil doesn't move, I'm good.
Exactly. Exactly. And did I teach you the trick about the rubber band to help the pencil
Yes.
not move? Okay. Um, that is a good trick.
It took that frustration level out of the circle drawing.
Yeah.
All
Good.
right. My
Good.
lines are good.
Okay, we've got the lines. So then you want to open the compass to the width from the center to that inner intersection, right? So where the compass intersects with the inner circle, you want to open to that width, which I don't know off the top of my head what it is. We just use the shape to measure it, and it can be different every time. So I use the this radius of like center point to intersection on the top.
On mine, it's three and whatever.
Okay.
3 1/4.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. So now what we're doing is we're going to put the compass, we're making 12 points. We're making 12 points. Like we're going to draw a clock, basically. So you place the compass at the north, at the top intersection, right? And then swing it to the left, make a little hash mark on the inner circle, right? And then just like we do, swing it to the right. And you don't have to draw the arc. I'm simply demonstrating it. If you draw the arc, you'll just have to erase it. So point on the right, point on the left, hash mark.
Okay.
Okay. And just like we did to draw to, one of the earlier steps, you're going to put the compass on both the vertical upper and lower intersection points, and then the horizontal, the right and the left intersection points. So compass is going to go at each point. And if you were to draw the arcs, it would look like this. These are the 12 marks that we're making, right? All you need is the mark. I just showed the arc to highlight what we're doing. Compass point goes from each intersection, right, left, top, bottom of the bisecting lines. And you want 12 marks, kind of darken them in after you've made them. They are going to be our reference points for the triangles.
Okay, but I only have 7. Yeah.
You must have missed one of the arcs. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wrong place. 7, 8. So, and I have 8, not
Great.
including. That's correct?
Yes, that is correct. Does that seem, we got that?
Yeah, let me just make the mark. So
Yeah, just darken them in. And now we've got 12 points, right? So we've got 8 and then the top, bottom, right and left. Okay.
correct.
Cool. And you don't have the arcs in there, right? You just have the points.
Yeah, I'm just going to erase a little bit.
All right. Here
I
we
was
go.
trying to make sure they were centered to the center. And then my pencil didn't move on me.
Well, this will be part of the asymmetry, right? So we're
Okay.
starting with 12 points, but we're going to create asymmetry with this. So darken them in, and now nice and light, we want to alphabetize them, right? So you're going to start at the top, and that's going to be A. And then you're going to move around clockwise, and you'll have L at the top left. Now, did you you took a look at these steps because I sent the PDF? Did you look ahead so you have a general idea, or
A little bit, but I said don't get involved. I was going to see how hard it was going to be for me to follow directions.
You know, it's, I will, in all honesty, in all the Shris that I've drawn, which is, it's only like 30 or so, you know, given like a lifelong study, right? I have not ever been able to do this, or I have never chosen to do this from memory because the steps are so, I don't know what the word is, but I never feel confident enough to try and remember them.
Yeah.
Meaning they're complex. So, okay.
I don't expect to draw any of these shapes pretty much without looking at your directions every single time.
Yeah.
Unless I go overboard, you know, and with one of them, and then it becomes second nature to do it on your own.
Yeah. I think it does. I think it does with the symmetry of the seed, and it builds into the flower, and you know the vector comes from, I think it, because everything comes from the seed, it does get more muscle memory, right? But this one, it's its own party. So, okay.
8L.
So we got our alphabet. Okay. So I'm gonna use the letters to guide us. Now, I will do my best to remember, but most of the lines we're going to draw are guidelines, and I will try to remember to tell you when it's an actual triangle, and it can be nice and dark, but for most of them, draw them light because they'll be erased.
Okay.
You know? Okay. So where are we starting? Okay. So we're going to, these are guidelines, right? We're going to connect J and E. Now, here's the thing. We are such professionals now. The only thing you want is this intersection here. So you don't have to draw the full line. I find it to be helpful on the first go around, but just to point out that ultimately we just want that intersection. So J down to E, nice and light, taking a cross section.
Okay.
And then D is going to go over to I, and that's going to give you an intersection that hopefully falls right around the vertical line. Might not be precise. Close enough to count is all we're going to do.
Okay, let's go back to J again, because I think that might have been a little off.
Okay. It, you know, it is a good practice to get in the habit of double checking, right? Where you start with the pencil aligned with the compass, and then you go down to the other point and double check that one, and then go back up to the original point, and you really get more precision when you do that double, triple check.
Well, I noticed that my horizontal is okay, but my vertical line looks a little skewed. So I think that's why this is currently still not lining up on the axis, which, wow, let's make it. How about that?
Yeah, you can choose to prioritize the intersection over it aligning with the vertical. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
If your X marks the spot is a little bit off of the vertical, that's okay.
All right.
Now, I don't know if you can see on mine. Mine is just slightly skewed to the right as well.
Okay.
Which is very subtle, but it's there.
It's teeny weeny.
Yep. So I don't think I've ever done one accurately.
Okay. Not going to obsess.
No, it's just you'll get the energy of it. It'll be really cool. All right, so you have that center pinpointed?
Yes.
Okay, then you can erase those guidelines if you haven't already.
All right, should I go with where they cross, even though it's a teeny fraction away from the actual vertical line?
You could do
mark it
both.
on the vertical line.
You could do either one. Your choice, it'll still work out.
Okay.
You can see mine. Mine is just like, if you want to look, it's just to the left here.
Yeah,
right?
that's what mine did too. Yeah.
Right. So I chose the vertical. I
Okay.
chose the vertical, but you could choose whichever. It's
Right,
going to
I'm
work
choosing
out.
the vertical.
Okay.
Let's keep that in mind if I have to do it again.
Okay.
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 All right, we're good.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Erasing.
Erasing. Tell me when you're done erasing with
Done
the line.
erasing.
Okay. Okay. Next up. Now what we're going to do, I've got it marked out. What I will say is I always approximate this one. So you're going to measure the radius. You're going to measure the width from the center point down to that point we just made. I believe it is 7/8 of an inch. I'm not sure. Right? It might be 1 inch. Okay.
No, it's 7/8.
Is it 7/8? Okay. So
Yeah.
just watch the whole process here. So
Okay.
that mark is 7/8. And then you can measure from on the left side, measure an inch down, make a mark. And then on the right side, same thing, measure an inch down. And those give you the points to draw another horizontal line. You're getting some assistance.
Did you believe that when I finished the Sri up to the point I had, first he sat in the center, I scooted him off the table, and the other cat came and sat in the center of it.
They're attracted to portals. That's all I can say.
Oh my Lord.
I know.
I thought, what is that about?
Oh, well, we'll find out. So I just eyeball, right? I just put the ruler so that it looks parallel to that center line. But now you have a way to measure if you'd like to get it precise. I always felt like I could get it precise enough by just paralleling it. But
all right, so you originally said 7/8 of an inch, then you told me to draw it 1 inch long.
No, you were right. It's 7/8 of an inch. It's just this width here from the center point down to that point we just created. I thought it was 7/8, but then up here, did I write 1 inch?
Because it doesn't go through the line. Now it does. Okay. It doesn't go through the point. Let's do that again.
All right, I'm gonna make that.
It's good.
I think I wrote 1/8 because 7/8 is almost an inch. So I think that's about one size on the street. That's what I was thinking. But we want precision, so I'll go back and change that to 7/8. All right, so we got, did I put it down here? Nope. Now, if you'd like, that is the base of the triangle. So you can make that one dark.
Okay, well, I drew it 3 times over itself, so it's dark now.
Okay, so 2 more lines that you can do dark are that we are going to use the 2 points we just created, the right and left bottom points of that line, and you're going to draw an upward facing triangle that connects up to A, right? Nice and dark. And this is our first triangle. And I believe that this one is the same inner angles and ratios as the Giza, the pyramid.
Pyramid, yeah.
Mhm. I took this class with someone just to see his version of it, and he starts with the downward facing triangle, which I don't know, but that's fine. Which starts with the more receptive energy of the shape, but we start with the more activating, masculine energy of the shape.
All right, so far so good.
Okay, so we got that first upward facing triangle. Now what we're doing is we are guidelines, right? Definitely drawing guidelines. So nice and light. We're going to draw lines from L down to I. And then from B down to E. And that's going to give us intersection points right on the, right above the horizontal line. And you want to highlight the intersection of those lines and the horizontal line, which is just slightly in from the triangle. Do you get that?
I did get that. I thought I was another mistake, but no, it's perfect.
Nope. That's the point you want. That's the, we're going to use that point. So you can darken it in if you'd like, and you can go ahead and erase those two lines.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got that point. It's the same pattern the whole time. We're going to be crossing lines to find the point for the next coordinates. All right. So now we're going to start down below at G. Wait a second. Yes. Start down below at G, come up through the point on the right that we just made, right? You don't want to go anywhere else. You want to go through that point and up, and it will end up on the inner circles. And this is a nice dark line that's going to stay. I wonder if that's that. Curious. And then you're going to do the same thing on the left. I bet it is.
That lined up perfectly for a change.
Great. And then you're going to draw the horizontal line on the top that's going to connect those 2 points.
Should we spoke too soon? Okay. Right. Let's make that as straight as possible.
Yes.
Okay, probably, maybe. Let's see where we end up. No, we end up very far away. Okay. All right, so my right side didn't work out quite as good as the word.
Okay.
I can't change that. It's a little closer to G. I might have been a little more. Oh, okay, well, try that again.
How could you possibly mute all of this fun process?
I'm a talker. I spend so much time alone that I have to talk to myself. There's, it's.
Yep.
I have great conversations.
Me too, and the cat, right? That's just, we're wonderful conversationalists. Yep.
Right, erasing the line I thought was straight. I think that looks not too wacky. Yeah.
Close enough to count?
I think so. See, okay. I still want to keep pulling it down a little bit. Wow. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm going to just show you and see if you think it's a little too high.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to make it any darker until... Yeah, it's already starting to look wobbly on me, so we're looking at this one here. That one there? Okay.
It looks fine.
It does.
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me see. Hang on.
I look a little crooked.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, here's what I want to say is, let's see, go ahead and do whatever you need to do to make it horizontal.
Okay.
Do that. It's just visually it'll be more satisfying, even if it doesn't go precisely through those points.
All
Just
right.
even out those 2 points
Okay.
to get
Just
that level.
I'm gonna try something to make.
Because I don't know that those points are necessarily.
Yeah, that's exactly where my mind wanted to put it, as far as lowering it a little bit,
Yeah.
because it's going up in the air over here for sure.
Yeah, I think something like that would drive me nuts. So I will
Yeah,
support you in making that adjustment now.
and I don't know, measuring, maybe because I measure so much for doing woodworking and stuff,
Mhm.
that seems as satisfying as trying to make hash marks
Uh-huh.
when it's possible. In the
When, yeah. Yeah.
one
And
more
I
time.
think the hash mark technique, like that just gets kind of easier and easier and more normal, quote unquote, as a technique, because
Yeah,
it's really just a technique that's used everywhere.
I know. I've seen several people doing their videos
Yeah.
with it.
Lots of times they'll skip that step. They'll skip explaining what they've done. Like that's part of why I don't feel like I've been replaced by videos. And that's one reason where they'll not explain some place, or they'll go too fast and you actually can't recreate a step. A lot of them
Exactly.
are good, but then also the backstory and the information and the camaraderie of groups, you don't get that, and it's so potent.
I agree. I totally agree. Because sometimes it's just pleasant to watch, but I don't expect to be able to follow what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you
Okay.
just so that I
Yes.
haven't compromised it.
Looks better. Yes. I like it.
I,
Feels good.
I'm not
Feel good to
trusting
you?
my hash marks. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we've got this now. This is the last time we will see symmetry. These two triangles are roughly symmetrical. You've
Right.
got the measurements of the pyramids, right? So these, if you were to broaden them out, they could be, they were three-dimensional, you would see a pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got those. Now these are guidelines, right? So we're going to do them nice and light. So we're going to be going L down to E.
Okay.
And then B down to I. And these may cross on the vertical line and they may not. It's okay. We don't need them to.
Stay still. Okay, close. Came close.
Okay, now we're going to connect A across to C, right? So a shorter line, and we're looking for the intersection. So A to C, and that will cross over the line we just made.
Yep.
And then
A
A
to
to
K. No.
K, A to K.
Okay.
All right.
Got cross.
So, yep, darkening in those two intersection points that we've created. I have them with red dots on the screen if you ever need to clarify.
Yep.
And then erasing those 4 lines.
Okay, we don't need that other cross on the vertical under the middle of the circle. We don't need that anymore.
Nope, we don't need any of the lines, just those 2 points.
I don't know. Smaller so it would be faster. Alrighty.
This is another shape where it's so great to have one of the smaller erasers.
Yeah, I do, but it doesn't get rid of the lines as well as the big one.
No, right.
All right, they're mostly gone.
Okay. I feel like those lines should cross over on the vertical line, but they just don't, and that's all right. Close enough to count. So mine is demonstrating imperfection. So, but we'll get it done.
Okay.
Okay. So we've
2
got
points.
those 2 lines, and now we're going to draw a horizontal line connecting them, and they do not extend to the circle, right? They stop short of the circle because it will be completed later on, right? We'll get the coordinates to close that triangle, but we get it a little later on. And part of the energy of the Sri as we draw it is the nature of incompletion, right? Leaving things open so that more can come in, because there are 3 lines where we can't end, what's the word? They don't have endings. They're left open-ended, right? And so it leaves this level of like non-closure, right? And so that's part of the energy as we draw, so to kind of tune into that. And it probably is part of leaving the technology open in order to receive the intention somehow.
Well, not now, Spirit. Okay,
Mhm.
not now.
This is, but wait,
Oh,
wait.
Tail, we gotta not stick our bum in the picture. There you
That's
go.
what happens. I know.
Okay.
Okay, we got that
Mhm.
open-ended horizontal line. Okay, great. Now what are we doing? All right, so we have created a new intersection point with that horizontal line and the vertical line. Right up here. Here, I'll show you
Yep.
one.
Yep.
This one.
I got
Yep.
it.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to use that as our origin point, and then the line, and this is a darker triangle. This is an actual triangle line. The line is going to come down, and there's an intersection point here between the 2 triangles.
Yep.
It's going to come down across using that intersection, and it does not end at all either. And just below, or sorry, just above that inner circle. And you're going to do that on the right and left sides. These are the lower intersections, right? Well, I think that's the only intersection down there right now. So those 2 ends stopping shy of the inner circle because it'll be finished later on.
Okay, got him.
Okay, groovy. Now what are we doing? It's the big reveal. Okay, so these are 2 guidelines. These are the messiest and most annoying. This will be the end of the annoying grid lines after this. So we're going to connect J, nice and light, J down to F.
F.
Yep.
Okay.
And then J down to G.
Yeah, that's where I was going first.
Well, it would have been fine if you did that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to switch to the other side, and we're going to go D over to H.
All right.
And then D down to G. Yes. So here's some symmetry where we are creating intersection marks. Those are the points we want. Can erase the rest of the lines. We just want those 2 points.
These be the same height, approximately.
Approximately. Yep. Mine is off as well. So, or I don't know if yours is, but mine is. They're always off. I don't think yeah, unless you're using graphic design. The likelihood is they will be off. And that was the one thing. There were a couple things. It was so good to take the Sri from another teacher, because there were a couple of things that he did that didn't resonate for me. I did like how he started it. I thought it was curious to see starting with the triangle facing down. That was cool. But he had a graphic design. He was on the computer and we were all drawing, and there was a disconnect in that for me, because it just didn't feel as good as you seeing my drawing and having me do the same thing, because otherwise you are comparing the graphic design.
Exactly.
And that we want to unprogram that. And then the other thing that was wonderful that we will see later was about the petals. And I will expound on what I mean by that.
Okay.
Expound, expands. All right, we got those 2 points.
And 1 second. I am being particular.
Wonderful.
Like off by an eighth, if not a 16th.
All right.
It's minor, you know?
Okay, well, that's
Yeah,
fabulous.
I keep wanting to go up in the air over here on this side.
Yeah.
Let me just try one more time here and see what the difference is. 2 here.
The nice thing is that even if they are not perfectly level, we're going to draw a horizontal line, and you can split the difference and just make a horizontal line.
All right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, let's try those 2.
Which is going to end up looking like this.
Longer
This
than I
is
made
another end. This is another horizontal line that doesn't have endings, right? It's open-ended and slightly annoying.
it. Okay.
Mhm. All
Are
right.
you trying to tell me it's not raining anymore? Is that what you're saying? Okay. 1
All
second.
right. Yep.
Other outside. I have a meowing cat.
Okay, me too. We'll do a cat break.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we got the horizontal line.
Correct?
Okay. So your shape looks like this.
Does.
Okay, fabulous. Okay. So now we have given ourselves this intersection point. That horizontal line has crossed the vertical line. So that's going to be our origin again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start at that point. And this is going to be a triangle as well. If you want to draw a light line, make sure it's right, and then darken it in. Origin point down here, and then you're coming up to this intersection. Here, I'll show you. Up here, right? This intersection up here on the right and left. It's the top intersection created by the 2 triangles. And this is yet another beginning of a triangle that doesn't get to be ended yet.
How so?
There's all this energy of like,
So I got to keep going. Okay.
yes.
Hang on. I only brought it to the intersection.
Yep.
I'm
Just
going to bring it above.
extend it, because we don't have limitation, right? Part of the energy is infinite, that intention that we set, right? Infinite anything that we intend, which creates more receptivity. That's fun. I'm just getting that new element to this as we're talking about it. We got those 2?
Yes, you do.
Okay, fabulous. All right. So now we are using this intersection of the vertical line and the base of the downward facing triangle, right? So it's pre-existing. This one's already there. And we're going to come down and across through this intersection, right? So
Okay,
using,
are we at the center point there?
yes,
Okay.
we're starting here, and we're going to come down. Here's the intersection we're going through. All right. Is that true? Yes, I believe that's true. Yes. So it's going to create this narrow upward facing triangle. You're going to do that on both sides, which is its own symmetry. We keep doing that. And then that is going to end on the horizontal line at the base. And that will give you the stopping points for that triangle. And you can erase the bits that extend past the triangle points.
Okay.
Horizontal line.
Going to the dots. Going to the dots.
Going for the dots, yep. And they will end at that horizontal line.
Don't think it's as narrow as yours. That's why I'm just making sure I'm on the right top line, which is second line down. So I was at the
second line down. Yours might be a little wider. Yep. This draws a fairly narrow Sri. If yours is a little wider, that's fine as well.
All right. Now I'm erasing bits of something. What?
Down here at the end on the horizontal line, there should be some bits that extend beyond where the triangle ends. So you just want to erase them.
Got it.
Got it?
No bits.
Okay, no bits. So now what are we doing? Okay. Now we're going to draw a line. We're going to go, you can sort of see it. I drew it, but I skipped ahead. So down here, there's these 2 intersection points, correct?
Oh, wait. Wait, wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait. All right, I'm going to show you what I did because I think I
Okay.
did it wrong.
Okay.
I think what happened was I went to the dots. Where am I? Putting the sun here. Let's put this over here a little bit. No, that's worse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you went, okay, so yours is skinnier. What
Yeah.
you want to do is go through the intersections, put your pen up a little higher, up a little higher. Now go to the left there.
Okay.
That intersection is what you want to use, and then use it on both sides. It's an X marks the spot. Here, I'll go back up here.
Ah,
You're coming through, I skipped one. You're coming through these intersections that should already be there.
all right. Let me not get too confused because this is how I confuse everything. And then it goes downhill from.
Can you see the intersections?
I'm working on the second intersection. I see it now. Yes.
Okay, great. Those are the ones you want to use. And then that should lift
Now
up
I
your,
now
there you go.
erase the bits. Makes sense.
Okay.
Like I got no bits. What's that about?
There, and I don't actually say how long to extend that horizontal line on the bottom. You just do it a little bit to before the inner circle. So you might not have bits. You might actually have to extend the line depending on how long you drew it, how wide you drew it. So we are
Yeah.
completing the energy of an upward facing triangle. How'd that go? You want to show me once you've got it?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I think it's right. Ow, shadows.
Yes, that looks just right.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Phew.
Whew. It's good to stop and make sure along the way because it does get complicated. All right, so we've got that triangle, and now we're gonna connect. That triangle has given us these intersections down here, right? That
One.
new triangle created intersections. Here, I'll show you on the top. Right here, right? These two intersections, that new
Yeah.
triangle gave us
Yeah.
these,
Got
right? So
those.
we're gonna use those to create a horizontal line, right?
How far
And
are we
I've made points. We're gonna go to the where the end of the triangle end, like we've got an open-ended triangle there.
Yep.
Right? So you're gonna connect the 2 points of the triangle. This is the base of that triangle.
Now I'll have bits.
You'll have bits, so go ahead and erase the bits.
Make sure I'm doing the right intersections.
Yep, you got it.
All right, looking good. Looking
All right,
real good.
so it's your shape should look like this now, does it?
It does.
Brilliant. Okay. All right, now we've got some more open ends that want to be complete. Sorry for this. So here we go. Last use of the compass.
Oh, dear.
Same width. You do not change the width at all. So what we're going to do is compass is going to go up on B, and then pay attention to the placement of the pencil. We're just making a hash mark. We're not doing the inner triangle. We're doing basically the next line over.
Thank you, because you just saved me from making another mistake. Okay.
Yep, this one's tricky because there's 3 lines that are really close to each other. So not the inner triangle, the
Right.
line next to it, which points on the right axis, points right,
Got
because
it.
that's one of the, yep, you got it. And then you're going to put your compass point on L and do the same thing on the other side and double check that you've got the correct triangle on that one as well.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got those 2 hash marks.
They're not even, but okay.
That's okay. You can split the difference on the horizontal line, which is the next step.
Yep.
I'm going to create a horizontal line between those 2 points.
I already have that line. Oh dear.
And that's probably the vertical line that you have.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see what you got.
Okay. Hash marks. Good for my hash marks. My hash marks are way up here, and that line.
You got the one on the left. So did you make the one on the right?
Yeah, that's where I made the hash mark.
No. Okay. So if your compass has not changed its width,
Yeah.
and you put the point on B,
Yeah.
right? You're too low. Did you
Yeah.
change the width of your compass at all?
No, it didn't. Didn't touch it after I put it down.
Okay,
So that's
so,
where I end up.
okay, so,
See that?
so compass point on B, you, yours looked wide. I think you went to the third line from the center. You only want the second line from the center, not the third. I think you went to the third. This is one of the tricky bits. So you've got the inner upward facing triangle.
Yeah.
It is the line. It is the next line to the right and the left. I think you went to the third.
No, I went to the second,
Uh-huh.
but I have not changed the.
Okay, let me see one more time.
Look, this light is not helping you, is it?
That's all right. Okay, the one on the left is correct. Wait, hang on a second. Don't move. The one on the left is correct. The one on the right is not. The one on the right wants to come in to the next line.
Is this the right to you?
I'm using your left. So that one is correct.
This is correct.
That one's correct.
That one is not.
That one is not. You want to come one line into the center.
Okay, moving it now in the same position.
Otherwise, the other one is correct. But that one needs to move in towards the center.
All right, gonna give me the same hash mark though, right?
Yeah, same. Start at L. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Hang on, let me come out. Yes, that is correct. But you haven't erased the one outside. So the two inner ones are correct, and you want to erase the third one that is towards the outside of the circle.
Got it.
Otherwise, it'll be confusing.
Or we would draw in a straight line anyway.
Yeah, you can draw it. Yep. Straight line. All right.
Yep.
So now we're just connecting those 2 points
Yep.
to make a horizontal line. And the same thing, you can use those 2 points as an approximation and then just level out the shape according to the horizontal line, right? Make it match the
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Now, I believe at this step, it looks like I did this. Oh, it looks like I did it before then. Oh, it looks like I did it a long time ago.
Which means what?
Wow. Okay, so you can erase the central horizontal line, right? The original horizontal line that goes through the whole shape, you can erase that. You want to keep the vertical. That one's the important one. You do not need the horizontal line. And I think you could erase that a while ago. You'll see on the PDF. But it just clears up a little bit of the space because we're going to get really tiny in there.
Okay. Alrighty.
Now I'm going to point out something cool that I have never seen before. So you remember, and I think you commented on it, that you didn't like all of the holes in your original Sri, right? So you did it again. So you can see, I hope you can see, here's the ring of points that somehow was part of the original. These 2 points line up with 2 of those points.
Oh, cool.
Ah, that's cool. I've never seen that before. It's always something new with the Sri, always. Okay, so we've got that horizontal line. Now what we're doing, I believe, yes. So that line just gave us this intersection point, right? Where the horizontal line and the vertical line cross, right? So that is going to be our origin point, and we're going to make a downward facing triangle. So we're going to draw our lines up and across. Now, where's the intersection so you can make it? So here is the intersection. It already exists. So we're going to start at that bottom intersection. You're going to go up on the diagonal through that intersection that already exists. That's the guidepost. Does that make sense? Right here and right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. go to the next picture for a sec. So I so I want to be on that line, go through that intersection.
And then it's going to end at that top horizontal line, which will cut off and complete that triangle for us.
Bingo. Got it. Okay.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, if it would just perfectly go through intersections, that'd be nice, but
yeah, not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
Yep.
All right.
Done. And then erasing any bits at the top that extend past the triangle.
There weren't any bits.
No bits. Okay. Or extending it. Yeah. Yep, whichever way it needs to go. Yep. Okay. So we've got that. Now we've got one more horizontal line to complete the last open triangle, right? So here's an intersection. Yep. Here's an intersection. And we're just going to draw a horizontal line that will complete that open-ended downward facing triangle.
We're going to pray that it's slightly straight. Okay, here we go. Whee! And get rid of these bits. There we are. Done. Okay.
Now I believe we're working with this triangle intersection up here. We just created the vertical and horizontal. I might be not correct. Yes, I am correct about that. So here's the two starting points, right? The corners of that small horizontal line that we made. We're going to start there and we're going to go up to that intersection we just made.
She said. Any luck? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
It's happening. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So now this is let me just double check. Okay, it's the upper one. So this one's an important point. So pay attention to this one. You've got these two intersections that are the ones
like a diamond. Yep.
Closest to the vertical line, right?
Correct.
Then you've got two of them that are a little higher up.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to use the two higher ups to make a horizontal line, right? So those are your intersection points, the highest ones.
Yep.
And then your horizontal line extends to only the next triangle, right? So it just extends to the next set of lines outward to the right and left. That's your horizontal line.
Yep.
All right, close enough to count. We got that?
Oh, I'm so sorry, but I am the person who has to straighten your photograph on the wall if the wind is blowing it sideways.
Oh, I am too. I am too.
So let me just get this a little straight.
No, I like when I go into people's houses and it's, I want to adjust them. Nuts. I haven't figured out if that's rude or not.
Well, if they don't notice, it's not rude. It's helpful.
Right. Or if it's a good friend. Yeah.
Okay, got that. And
okay, we got that. Now, here's another sticking point. We've got two open intersections here, right? Two of them. And these are going to be the bases of our next two triangles, but just pay attention to which one we go to. All right. So we're going to start up at using the horizontal line we just made, and we're going to go all the way to the lower intersection of the base of that triangle and the vertical line, right? We leave the upper one open.
Okay.
All right. 3 more lines.
Okay.
Okay. Now do we do that? Yes. Okay. So when I pointed out, we have these two, we use the upper intersections for that horizontal line, right? Now we're going to use the two lower ones here. So these two intersections that are closest to the vertical line, right? Because you've got two sets. It's a little tricky here. And they're really close, but you want these two inner ones, the two closest to the vertical line, and then you're going to create another horizontal line. And that's going to extend to the next triangle closest to that intersection. This is, I think, the trickiest bit. Now, the thing is, I don't know if you can see it. that line will likely be a little bit above the outer intersection, right? It's not perfectly symmetrical. You got that so far?
I actually got that one to line up properly. It's the one
Awesome.
below it that's just a little off. Yeah.
Yeah, totally perfect. So here's your outer 2 points. We're going to make that last downward facing triangle.
I was actually looking at the wrong one, but okay. So that was the line I just drew. Uh-huh. Okay. That's going. Woohoo! Boy,
Right? It's going to fill in that last open intersection point.
which would be. No, I'm not seeing.
Oh gosh, okay. Oof.
All right.
Yeah, I sneezed and then I thought I was done and I wasn't.
I might. Okay, hang on a second.
That is the last step of the triangle.
I knew this might happen.
Uh-huh.
Where all the lines were going to start to make me.
Yeah,
crazy.
this is the last one. So see up here, you've probably done it right. Up here, it doesn't line up with this outer intersection. It's a little bit above that, right?
Correct.
That is correct.
I'm just trying to figure out where to put it because where I'm trying to put it, there already a line exists. So I may have done something wrong prior to this.
All right, let me see what you got.
All right, this is before making the one we're trying to make. Let's get rid of this thing. Hang on a second.
Oh, it's better with the light.
Was it?
Yeah. All right. So lower it a little bit. Your notebook, lower the notebook.
Yeah, I gotta do that. As I get another hand.
Okay. Come in a little closer.
So this is the line I supposedly just drew.
It is correct. So just use those 2
Where am I
points.
going?
The last open intersection. Go a little higher. That's that one. Yep.
This one. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was.
Yep. You got it.
Okay. Well, I wasn't being.
Lots of times, I think like, I can't give a percentage, but lots of times people think they've messed up and they actually haven't. It's just brand new and it's yeah.
It just wasn't looking exactly like yours. It's probably
Yep.
what it is.
Why not?
I don't know if I should.
Nope. Nope. All right, let me see.
All
Very
right,
exciting.
I kind of lost my love for it right about the last 3 triangles. I was fine until the last 3 triangles. Like, oh, this is very nice.
Lost your love for it. Okay. All right. No, but it's, hang on a second. It is accurate. It is close. It is close. It's close. It's just right. It's just right, technically. So let's pause and look at it for a second let's regenerate the love here for it. And you can obviously, of course, go back and just try the triangles. So what do you think?
Okay.
Okay.
Normally, no, hang on. Normally, I am attracted to the center.
Uh-huh.
For some odd reason today, I am not.
Well, it might be that it's the first one we've done, and it might be a little off in a way that is not satisfying in terms of the symmetry or the asymmetry.
Or I might need to work on all those attributes you had in all the other little triangles on the outer side. Maybe
Could
I
be.
devolved since.
Now, no. Now, here's what I'm wondering might happen. Are you drawing the lines from these intersection on this last triangle, right? From these 2 intersections where there's X's, because you actually want it to go through these 2 intersections on the inside, and that puts the points a little bit higher than those intersections. Okay, great.
Definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, then the last piece is putting the bindu down, darkening the what would have been the horizontal line and the vertical line, right? Or the center, it might be approximated. I just put the center wherever the center is.
Well, there's a big hole in my paper, so that's where you want me to go.
Go for it. Wherever it feels best to put the center in that center triangle.
Yeah, I think pretty sure that hole has been well through the next page and the next one after that.
All right.
Compass
So
time. Yeah.
compass time. So then darken that point in, and you can now erase the vertical line and the horizontal line. If it, more of the horizontal line, whatever.
Yeah, I
Just the
only have
vertical line will clear it up.
part of it left.
All of the erasing.
I
You
think they
have
got
completed a major thing here.
excellent, excellent.
Do you, with the love lost, do you notice any feelings? Is it like ooh, this isn't working, or doesn't feel good?
Um, no, no. It just, for some odd reason, that's really staring me in the face. And I think it might be because I made the lines a little darker than the rest of the lines on the.
Oh, maybe.
So if I, darken everything up, that might make a difference. I don't know, but
Yep. It's hard to
definitely.
go dark on the first round because you're not going to
And
assume you're
you
going
know
to
you're
get.
gonna erase if you're me. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
All
let me
right.
just see if this makes one difference and keep talking.
Yes. No, I would also do that to darken them in. The next thing, and I'm excited to see it with it darkened in or not. So tell me when you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Just playing.
the next thing, and this isn't a rush, I'm just talking about what we're going to do, are
Yep.
the petals. We're going to
Yeah.
do the petals.
I was
And
curious.
yeah, it is curious. So there is a technical way to do the petals, which involves closing the compass, measuring and cutting each segment in half, closing the compass, creating little arcs. It is, if you do it that way, you'll never do it because it's, unless you're some sort of, um, sadhu or one of the, wandering saints. I forget what they're called.
Or a
Sadhu.
sadist. Yeah. Okay.
Right. There's that too. So what we're going to do is we're going to approximate.
All right.
And what I was so excited to see was that the guy that I took the class from as well, who was doing the graphic design, when we got to the petals, he's like, you're just going to have to approximate it. And I'm like, all right,
Freehand.
great. I'm not just half-assing it.
Yeah.
So
Good. And that. Yeah. So will we use the compass at all, or just freehand?
no, we're just going to freehand it.
Okay.
But tell me, I want you to have space to darken in the lines to the way that
All right.
is satisfying.
Well, what's interesting about the weight of this paper is it absorbs lead easily.
Oh, interesting.
And then it's either that or my lead pencil. It ends up uh, getting fuzzy on me. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. So I'm one more line, and I won't be
All right.
dark anywhere,
And
but
I'm gonna walk over to my Shri hallway, and I'll show you a really fun thing that I've done with them that kind of like exacerbates it.
okay.
Yeah.
So she's the Sri lady.
Well, a couple of them.
Do you have other people who are as excited about it?
I do. I have a Shri cult. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
They've taken classes, the Shri class over time, and a lot of them will kind of do it again just to be with the Shri because that discipline is hard. And yes, there are, it's a small group. It's about 2 dozen people who totally, maybe 3 dozen, who totally understand and have had powerful experiences with the Shri.
Great. Um,
There's a
so when
top secret handshake if you want to be part of the club.
well, the last time I said this before, but the last time I was in Sedona was during 9/11,
Yeah, my goodness. How was
and
that?
it was interesting because it got really quiet with no planes going overhead, and
Mm,
they had a hot air balloon trip scheduled, which they were also grounded simply because they were up, go up in the air. So we never got to do that, but there were a couple of different prayer type things up on Fort Texas as well.
oh,
It certainly didn't have all the things it has now. So one of the things that came up during this period of working with the sacred geometry was Greg Braden's. He had two events going on. The first one I thought, well, I don't know, it was right on my birthday, and I thought that was a sign, right?
yeah.
But he has a second one in March or April, I think. That's just him, like at the high school, at whatever that center is.
Yep.
small group. I thought I could do that one. I'd like to go back out again and just see whether Sedona is still does the same thing it did to me 3 times before.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get refilled.
So there's a Greg Braden thing coming up that you're thinking about coming to.
I was, but that one was not in Sedona, but the
Uh-huh.
second one is.
The second one is, yeah, it's up at the Performing Arts Center, which is right next to the high school. It's so silly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had one woman she was in the sacred geometry class, and then she went into the crop circle class, because it's just sort of this like progression. And
Progression.
she came out to Sedona, and she actually unwittingly, because I'm not sitting here talking about my address, she booked an Airbnb just down the road.
Oh wow.
And that was hysterical, but we had plans for her to come and bring her friends, and we did a drawing party. It was so fun. And so if you are feeling the call, definitely come. And if you have the time, I would love to meet up. And if you're interested, doing any kind of drawing, do a little 64 party.
Definitely. And this definitely helped. I'm just going to show you real quick before we do the pedals.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Brilliant.
totally took that I'm not loving it thing out.
Oh boy, that is beautiful. What do you think?
I think I like it. I think I
Awesome.
like it. I think
Yay.
I can get inside the center now. I'm not
Mhm.
feeling like I need to be outside.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
Brilliant. Okay. Now, just for the record, I like to pause here. Like the pedals give it a completely different feeling, right? So just for the record, this is a good pause point as well.
Okay.
Fascinating. They're all pause points. You can do any part of it that you want, which I love about it. All right. So pedals, and the pedals are also super cool. So now what we're doing, again, with the approximation, this will be like kind of this is a more flowy, creative, non-linear aspect. What you're going to do here, I'm going to come out, is just in the pedal, it's just a squiggle line, right? So you're going to start at the top and you're going to swiggle down to the right. Now, there's one aspect of this that is important. The squiggles the points need to start facing north. They need to be aligned with the northern tip, right? Let me see. Did I give you? No, I just went right in for it. So 2 techniques. The one I use, let me back up. Okay. The one I use, okay, like on the outside, I'll draw the squiggle starting at the inside top, come down right around the midsection. So in your mind, you're sort of dividing it you're switching directions at the midpoint of the segment. And then you come down around to the bottom, right? So your hands gets in the pattern of going up, squiggle down, down. So what I do is I will do a squiggle, and then I'll skip a segment, and then I'll do a squiggle, and then I'll skip a segment, because the other segment is going down into the left, right? So my technique is to repeat the pattern. You do a squiggle in the same direction, skip a point, do a squiggle in the same direction. And you do that all the way around. And you also do that with the inside circle, right? So squiggle at the top, pedal at the top, I should use other than squiggle, down through the center, cutting the segment in half, and then up, and then ending down at the bottom. So I do that motion, right? And then I'll skip a segment, because once you've got all the segments done, then you flip and you're doing the opposite pattern. And so I find it easiest to continue the same squiggle flow, go all the way around twice, and then do the other side with the squiggle going the same way that way as well. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Awesome. So it'll end up looking like this.
Sure.
No. It will, promise. And I'll stop there, but I end up erasing some lines after that point, but we don't have to talk about that. I think it's easiest if I stay up here.
It's easy if you don't squiggle.
Right. And it's the squiggle and then skipping a segment. That's
Yeah.
the only piece that matters. You got to skip a segment, because that skipped segment will have the opposite facing squiggle.
Exactly. Okay. Up, down, down, up. There you go.
Mhm.
So my petals won't all look exactly the
Oh,
same.
no, they won't. I mean, this is as wonky as it's going to get. You can look at mine in a second, and they are just completely random wonk, right?
That one didn't have much curve to it.
Mm.
Why is it every other one feels different? Huh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and you know, who knows, but we do know that all of the petals have corresponding elements, right? And so wouldn't that be wild if there was a certain petal that was
Yeah,
particularly wonky and then it reflected
exactly.
I didn't send you the paperwork. I will send you that document that I read from that says every single element. I meant to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, that was overwhelming when you did it the other last
Yep.
week.
It isn't, but it is also really good to know, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But
Because this
there's definitely a reason why, section number 9 going around the circle isn't coming out the same way as the other ones.
yeah,
It almost feels a hesitation with my pencil. The minute I start to
interesting.
draw it, I can feel like that one needs some more.
Interesting. Um,
And others flow beautifully, like I've been doing it for years.
mm-hmm. Very interesting. You know, the reason that I include that overwhelming information, which is just absolutely overwhelming, is because the Shri, this thing, you know, rishis and sadhus and monks dedicate their lives to studying this thing, you know, and I really had a hard time at first. This was one of the last ones that I sequenced and started teaching because it feels, I want to say, disrespectful to try and encapsulate it in a 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour class. But I was informed that it's better to get it out there than not. It's better for people to have access and ability to draw it, even without the full extent or understanding of it, which we could never really have, and to get the general idea. So I do like to share that one piece of paper that says, like, oh my God, just contemplate how much is actually in this thing.
Yeah, yeah. There's the devoted, and then there's the okay. Let's just draw this and look at it for a while.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing that I do when you get to completion with the petals
Mhm.
is I erase the line segments
Oh,
that
really?
divide them, right? It just cleans it up a little bit. But you also don't have to.
Okay.
You got the hang of the petals?
Well, I got to hang the petals. You want to move on? We're
Great.
good.
That's it. No moving on. We're done.
I got the inner ones done.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Where am I? Wow, things start to look different. Gotta start over here.
Yes. And you know, there's also something about mandala work, right?
Oh yeah.
Like true mandala work, you start and you go clockwise and you don't stop and you don't jump around, and continuing with that pattern creates some type of, I don't want to say like hypnosis, but it
Yeah,
brings the brain into alignment and you end up walking away going like, whoa, what just happened?
yeah.
So you can do that with these two rings of petals. Just continue to move in the sequence of clockwise, and you'll have like kind of an anchoring effect of, you know, bringing all of the parts of the Shri together, and then meditating with it. And we'll close with just another revisit of the intention, just remembering that we've actually anchored this tree with a particular energy, or two of them for you. And this tree carries that frequency, right? It carries that intention, and it has the ability, when we meditate with it, to expand it and activate it.
Okay.
What do you think? Can I see?
Yeah. I just want to see something first. I'm not there. Okay. Wow, that one is. Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty
Okay.
bad, but looks like a kindergartner drew them, but that's
Oh no, it looks fabulous to me. It looks like, you know what it looks like? Cymatics and like the
yeah,
ripples out from the tree.
definitely is. Strange petals. I should not have pushed down so hard if I want to change them, but they're fine.
They're fine. And if you draw the next one, it's, it's tricky to do something or as ornate as that, like on time pressure with the class,
Yeah,
So
right.
so that way you know how to do it in the future. I would obviously, even despite the fullness of life, recommend just drawing one more and, anchoring it in that. And it'll take you less time and probably like 2 hours, ideally, so and then you can generate it the way that feels more connected, right?
All right. Well, I didn't get as confused about the triangles as I thought I would. So yes, I will definitely draw it again.
Excellent.
Maybe without the petals.
Maybe without the pedals, right, there's no requirement. It's how you want to do it.
Okay.
So let's just take a breath and anchor and revisit the energy that we've just embodied in the Shri. See if you can see any element of it sparkling, some kind of aliveness with the intention of inner clarity. I can't remember the words right now, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Vision.
inner vision, right? And so just believing that this thing is imbued and that can see the future that we can't see, it holds the future of inner vision. And then we sit and receive what the Shri is able to program in the Akash, in the fields, in the vastness that we don't have access to. The Shri can send amplified inner vision, and then also what comes from the amplified inner vision.
Hmm.
Shri contains so much with that intention. You can't really look at it without being reminded of the intention, right? Oh, there's my inner vision Shri.
Exactly. That dot helps a lot.
Yeah, I love the Bindu. It's where I meditate all the time.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just watched the whole thing shift in two parallel. Whoa, there's a third one. Okay, very cool. Yeah.
Very
So you
cool.
can you can. It's got to be doing something to your brain, right?
Yeah,
Not
completely.
excuse me, not just your anja and your spiritual and your crown and everything like that. It's got to definitely also like reprogram logic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
there's
And
no logic when it starts happening. There's no logic. There's just like, whoa, look at that.
yeah, this is completely energetic and esoteric. And I've just most of the time people look like you look. After the Shri, they're like, oh my God. What's happening here? And it is, I'm so glad you're having a visceral experience to it.
Yeah, definitely multidimensional.
Yeah, we don't get to know. I get a little frustrated with that. We don't get to know, cognitively in our waking reality. We can simply do the best we can to receive and access. And it shows up. It shows up in our world. And you can kind of go, oh, I wonder if this is because I'm doing that. It's sort of the
Yeah.
closest we get.
What was interesting when you asked me to find, what I wanted to put in for an intention, was actually the 64 star tetrahedron came boom right into my vision.
Mhm.
Now, is that the one when we time travel, or I forget which one's what? That's the
Oh,
tesseract.
that's the Tesseract, right?
Yeah. So the 64 does what? The star?
Starts popping into your field. It'll do whatever you want it to do.
Okay.
It's sort of
Okay.
a servant, right?
Well,
It's here to serve.
apparently it was trying to help me pick my choice, my intention.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
now
it
I'll be
could,
seeing this.
yeah. Yes, you hopefully if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
But the 64, it's how curious that it shows up to sort of help you with the inner vision piece. They're all here to help. That's in their
Mm,
different ways.
right.
So
No, this was
yeah.
very enjoyable. I didn't think I was going to like drawing it, but it was very nice. Okay, those are the best words I can use right now.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. So we've got this, which is the asymmetry, symmetry, it's Hindu technology, which is derived from direct connection to source. And then you've got, similar with the other sacred geometries, which are clearly based in our biology, based in the ratios in nature. And, hopefully this gives really a full spectrum and access to the other realms, the other dimensions that are just one geometry away from us. Oh, she's looking into it. There it
I'm
is.
sorry, got
No,
mesmerized.
no, no. It's what happens. It's so great
Yeah.
at the end of the class. It's like, oh, I'm in it. I'm just in it, and it'll keep impacting you with your day. The field is alive. So do you have any closing thoughts, any reflections? I will miss our Sundays. It's been wonderful for me.
Likewise, I'm glad as well. One, to meet you, two, to be actively participating in getting to know the sacred geometry has been obviously something I was supposed to do in this lifetime. So, thank you for your love and interest to bring it to others, because without you, I probably wouldn't have gone here. And it was not an accident that I happened to see you being interviewed, and pass by. Oh, look, sacred geometry. So it's really it was enlightening in a lot of ways, and I know that anything I begin will continue to move forward in some other way, if not directly by the drawing. But I have a feeling it will, because it's very calming, and obviously I'm attracted to it, so I will be using it again
Mm,
and again.
wonderful.
Mm.
I'm so glad to have been of service in
Yes.
that activation.
Yeah.
And one of the things that came as I was just listening to you is um, for a while I had all of my Shris in a notebook. Oh, I go show you the wall. And I don't know what happened, but at one point I literally heard them yell at me. They're like, "We're doing no good in your notebook." And
Hmm.
so maybe the idea or the invitation of not leaving them in your notebook, but actually having them around you, whether it's I think it's important if it's your art, but I think it's way different if it's your art than just like, downloaded, store bought, whatever, way more powerful. However, having it all around is good.
Yeah.
Ouch. Oh, well, let
Oh,
me just,
okay.
it's going to change everything here. I got to drop my lighting. I can do
Okay.
that. There we go.
Yeah,
Show
my
you.
original intention was to use these in a woodworking project where I made crystal mats for crystals,
Oh,
using
yeah.
sacred geometry as the
Ouch.
places. Don't.
There's all sorts
Sorry.
of things, right? So
Sorry.
this,
Just went past all your crop circles over there.
yeah. So that's a 64 that I did. And that's an
Mm,
example, like you were saying, I can't ever draw them in. I would just draw them and cut them out and put them on
mm.
um, clear backgrounds. And then, yes, this is the
Wow.
crop
Wow.
circle montage.
Wow.
I have
That's so cool.
55 on there, and these are
Wow.
just my favorites. These are my family. I like to have them. I have to have them nearby. And I'm sorry, um, moving the camera always makes me a little dizzy, but
Okay. Don't
just
look at it.
no. I mean, if I'm in your position and I'm watching,
Oh, oh yeah.
before I
No,
do
no.
it. Okay, so this is
Wow.
the wall of Shri.
Ooh,
And so, oh, this is tricky. So down here, those are the 7 that I did
wow.
for the challenge. And you can see I just did
Wow.
the 7. And then I just played around with, oops, shoot. Okay. This one is my favorite because it
Yeah.
uses the negative space, and
Um,
drawing them is trippy, but it was fun. And you can see I put my intention, and then I did enjoy coloring them. And I think if you just
mm,
do the circles, it's easier.
yeah.
And then this is the one I wanted to show you where I just sort of accentuate the tips. And
Yeah.
so it has this like forward motion piece. This one does that as well,
Wow.
where it starts, it just accentuates the portal piece, right? And
Right.
so, yeah. And so I
Cool.
just have, I've just been doing it for a long time. I just love to say hi to them and have them around, and, and they're good friends. So
That's- that's-
So let me come.
The house hasn't just lifted off the ground and taken you to the next place.
Yeah. Well, it landed me here, so I made it to Sedona.
Yeah.
And if you ever make it out, obviously, let me
Yes.
know. I'll take you to a vortex. I've got some special landing pads.
Okay.
Um, but I'm so glad to hear how activating it's been for you. It's just been such a treat. I'm so glad we had our private lessons. It was
Yeah.
just so wonderful to really be able to connect more deeply. With
Yes.
a lot of people, it's wonderful too.
Yeah.
But I was really appreciative of that. And it's always, even though it's been 10 weeks, it's always like, oh, wait a minute, we're ending. So
I know. It did go by fast, very fast. And
strangely enough. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all good things must end, I think the saying is.
Transitions. Yeah. And you've got the geometry as a transitional object, right? You're walking away
Yes.
with the things. And
Yes.
so stay in touch, send me drawings if you'd like to. And
I will.
it's been such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you
Likewise.
for your openness and your willingness and your insights and your wisdom. I've learned so much from you.
Oh, thank you. That's
Yeah.
very nice. I will be sending you my finished product. It's not sacred geometry, but to just show you where my mind has been when I made the table and then I created the piece of artwork to go above it.
Yeah.
It's just where my mind is. That's how my mind works. So this was perfect.
Oh,
You are
wonderful.
perfect.
Ah, it was perfect
Yeah, you
timing.
are perfect.
Ah, aren't we all perfectly
Yes.
imperfect? And all of that lesson, right? That's just anchored.
Yep.
I also wish you well with your family and all of
Thanks.
the everything's
The
happening there.
progress. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Take care, man.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Roberta.
Welcome.
Take care. Okay,
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye.